New research shows that certain foods could be making you anxious.
High-fat foods like pizza, burgers, French fries.
The good stuff.
All the good stuff. They could be changing your behavior. For more on this, our 9 News medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joins us now. Okay, so there's so many things that can lead to anxiety, I'm sure, but how are we connecting food here to these anxious feelings, anxious behaviors?
It's really fascinating, actually. If you look at obese individuals, they're more likely to have not just anxiety, but depression. So what they did here is they took rats and they fed some of them a regular fat diet, kind of a standard diet, 11% fat. They fed the other half a 45% fat diet, which is closer to what we eat, which is about 36%. Not only, of course, did they gain weight, which we know a high-fat diet does, but they actually started behaving more anxious. And if you looked at their gut, some of the chemicals changed. So some of the bacteria in their gut changed. And then you looked at their brain, and some of the expression of the genes actually changed. So here is this gut-brain axis that we've really developed now, realizing what we eat changes how we feel.
There's a lot of discussion about our gut and how it makes us feel, but I got to be honest, I feel better eating pizza than I do at kale. Well, but that's just me personally, but this does affect our genes, alters our genes.
It does. So Kim, what's happening when you eat a piece of pizza? It's triggering the dopamine reward
the happy
instantly,
genes.
Right, the happy chemicals. But what it's doing in the long term, it's triggering chronic inflammation. Yeah. It's changing your hormones. It's producing more cortisol. It's changing the nerves and the way that they interact. And as you said, it's actually changing the genes. So the genes are the hardware that we're born with. What we eat and how we behave, our exercise or sleep, changes how the genes are expressed. That's the software. So this is a phenomenon called epigenetics, where what we put inside our body changes how the genes are turned on. And here, we're essentially creating the formula for turning on the stress genes in our brain. And if you talk to the researchers that did the study, they say it actually, our brain kind of evolved to protect us from bad food. So the reason that pizza triggers anxiety eventually, over time, is because pizza is not good for us. And so our brain is hardwired to sort of tell us when food is not good for us. It's kind of a fight or flight response in our brain, but on the genetic level.
Yes, but the brain and the belly have to talk. I feel like my belly is always like, but the pizza is so good.
Yeah.
So if we're aiming for a healthy diet, you know, back to like what the goal should be here, what's the percentage fat we really should be going for?
Yeah, so some people think no fat at all, and that's not what I want the message to be here, because fats, the good fats, are actually healthy for your brain. They're good for inflammation. They have a lot of protective benefits. So we're talking about olive oils, nuts, the healthy fats. These are called the unsaturated fats, monounsaturated or polyunsaturated. The majority of our fat intake, which should be about 20 to 30% of our overall diet, should be these unsaturated fats. We should not eat the saturated fats, which are fats like coconut oil, and we should definitely not be eating trans fats, which can be found in foods like margarine, because those are for sure a recipe not just for bad stuff mental health-wise, but also cardiovascular disease, cancer, et cetera.
Besides putting sliced avocado on my pizza to feel a little bit better, you could, like, I mean, honestly, we can't never eat pizza or fries.
No.
So you're okay with it, but like just don't, you know, make it part of your daily diet? Like, you
exactly.
know,
So moderation is really the key here. Moderation and making sure that you don't wipe out the good bacteria in your gut, making sure you don't change your hormonal balance in such a way by chronically eating, because we've become a society of convenience. We eat foods that are convenient, and highly processed, highly fatty foods are the convenient foods. And I really think about my nephew, because he's 6 years old and he goes to McDonald's every day after camp or whatever. That's his comfort. That's where he gets his kind of slice of pizza dopamine hit. But we really have to start saying that this can be our cheat food once a month or twice a month or what have you, but doing it every single day actually rewires our genetics, rewires our neurons, and changes the gut bacteria that live there that actually protect us, so it can have long-term consequences.
I feel like we are a species of short-term, you know, affirmation, like you want something that makes you feel good right now in the moment.
Yeah.
When really, yeah, pizza does. Come on,
and that's why I think
does,
sometimes you do feel lousy on a Monday, because you kind of let yourself go on the weekend.
But understanding, like, your brain's telling you something in your body long-term. Like, I don't think people always connect the gut and actual health of the full body.
That's exactly right. And I think this is a learned behavior where we eat a piece of pizza, we instantly feel good because all of those carbs trigger that instant release of chemicals, but we don't really make that connection that the next day or the day after or the week after, it's actually having chronic effects. It's sort of similar to what alcohol does to our brain and our body. But thinking about our gut as an organ, not just an organ that processes our food, but an organ that controls our mental health and our nervous system, that's really the way to think about it.
Okay. All right, it's Friday. This is a
No
great day
pizza
to end the
tonight,
week.
folks.
Thanks, Dr. Coley.
Lots of avocados, though, Kim.
That's okay. I like avocados. That's why I threw that in there. That's a good thought.
You can find more with Dr. Coley at 9news.com/Dr. Coley.